How we doing? All right. Now, I got the fucking man bun going right now. It's to hide all me fucking brain up there, because my head's real big, because I have a big fucking brain. Speaking of, I want to talk about the GameStop earnings real quick. They were great, except for the earnings per share. That particular metric is what brought it down. All right, I need to brush up on that one. That accent, that ain't fucking doing it. How we doing, you fucking filthy animals? So GameStop earnings were stellar. Basically every metric was beat except for the earnings per share, which pretty much gave the green light to any traders or algorithms out there that filter off of that particular metric to either sell or sell short. It's just the way it goes. But overall, the earnings were fantastic, and the NFT marketplace that GameStop has been working on is set to release or go live in Q2 of this year. So at the latest, I think that comes out to July. Nonetheless, though, it fucking sucks, but it kind of segues into this next major topic that I want to talk about, which is this really fucking terrible theme going on in lieu... How you doing, all my Christians, motherfuckers? In lieu of the volatility in the markets, there is a theme that is occurring everywhere that I don't know if this has always just been the way it has been, or if it's just a nuance of the current market structure, which is this reversing of trades. For example, and shout out to the Happy Hawaiian on Twitter for putting this all together as a list. I'm just going to run through it, though. You have the AMC and GameStop situation from January of 21, which also included BlackBerry and costs and so on and so forth. And then there was a huge short position within the Chinese markets for nickel that went tits up and sent nickel as high as, I think, 300%. So that was reversed entirely. The market was halted, and then apparently there was a cash settlement that had been worked out or is being worked out. The oil debacle, then the VIX, Barclays flavor of the volatility index, had soared. What was it? Monday or Tuesday? Numerous halts, which that's understandable. That's a market thing. But let's consider this. There is a security made for volatility. Volatility is quantified and tradable, and yet we're halting this volatility index because of volatility. And there's one more example that I can't recall at this very moment. I think wheat had a similar situation. But like what really stands out is the nickel. And it has nothing to do with like what region of the world that this occurred in. Everybody is at the helm of that. Oh, the other one was RSX, which is an ETF for Russian-based securities. That has still been halted from what I understand. And on top of that, anyone who had options inside of that has not been able to cash out. So anyone who bought puts before Russia's economy became dust, still, there's nothing they can do. It's completely halted. There have been reports of class action lawsuits and individual lawsuits spawning from that. Let's go a little bit further back. 2021 is too recent. How about 2008? How about all of the failure to delivers that existed in our markets before Reg Show kicked in? They all got grandfathered into the system. Lehman Brothers, shout out to Kurt for actually putting me onto this. What dirt, Kurt? Lehman Brothers had hundreds of millions of failure to delivers in their stock before the entire market fell apart. So I'm gonna actually resort to one of my quotes, because I'm based as fuck and I can recall anything I've said in the past as a quote now. How is it a fair market? How is it a free market? How is it a capitalistic market if the environment that publicly traded companies reside in are subject to arbitrary intervention and even nullification of any trades or transactions that happened? How is that fair? On top of that, how can publicly traded companies have legitimate price discovery or fundamental valuations when really privileged key liquidity providing market participants who are integral to the operation of our markets and for trading? How is it fair that these privileged people can naked short sell? When did this become a norm? When was this ever okay? And why has it gone on for so long that no one has batted an eye until January of 21? And that's not to say that there haven't been people who have tried speaking up before, but the largest or loudest instance of any form of dissatisfaction of the system that I can recall was January of 21. So what does that mean for things like MOASS? What does that mean for things like GameStop and AMC? I think that the problem here is that there has either been preparation for these events or that these events, for some reason, are viewed as okay to just have undone. You know, most of these have been institutional related debacles, as in it was institutions who were caught inside of the nickel squeeze. It was institutions who were, well, primarily institutions who were caught within Barclays' flavor of the VIX. What's going to happen when retail, the salt of the earth, the common man, gets screwed out of money that they're owed? And that's what we're kind of seeing right now, beyond just taxation and inflation and blah, 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 blah. I mean something like GameStop or something like AMC, where we know for a fact that AMC, 90% of its shares outstanding are owned by retail. We know for a fact, per the SEC, that GameStop had a 240% short interest in January of 2021. And then somehow we have this magical just fucking a 1, a 2, bullshit, gone. What happens when you have a mass realization on this? Because here's the problem. We all realize this, and we've all known these, everything I just said, we've all known. The underlying theme is that no one has collectively realized at the same time. The force of retail is more so erosion than an actual blunting. There is no giant force that is exerted towards the direction of solution. It's been incremental taps. And maybe, you know, every time we see movement on something like AMC or GameStop, you know, we all hit at the same time, but not all of us. And I say us not to collectivify or imply any form of coordinating or fucking blah, 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 blah. I am not implying that retail or a group of people are conspiring to commit market manipulation, blah, 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 blah. Read the fucking disclaimer in the description, you fuck. So with that being said, because no one is able to thoroughly analyze and coordinate everyone else's perception of this within our own community, that's where MSM and any major news outlet or some jerk off like Gasparino points our attention elsewhere. And it's a lack of coordination. So as far as MOASS, we're going to step up a layer from this fucking fucked up topical onion that I'm working with. As far as MOASS goes, I still think that if there was an error of some sort by whoever has a synthetic or over-the-counter or institutional related short position were to just cover, if there was a plan going on that they're all trying to just keep the fucking container on this so it doesn't blow up, if one of them let go and now everyone else is blown away, I still think that something like MOASS is on the table, and I still have my money on it and in it. But as far as how these events of the past month have been handled with nickel and the VIX and oil and blah, 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 I don't know. I don't know how that's going to be handled. You know, we kind of look back to Tesla for that, because there have been years worth of questions and data and answers sought after in regards to Tesla being naked short sold. When will there ever be answers? And I'm not here to ruffle anybody's feathers or fucking get anybody's panties in a bunch. I'm just trying to ask questions and have some thoughtful dialogue. I don't know. I can search all over the internet for reports from institutions that might imply some form of derivative-based security that could include a bunch of shares that shouldn't exist that are sold short of a particular ticker. Bigham's can do the same. Randall Cornett, shout out to you, by the way. Randy can do the same. Kurt can dig through filings. Charlie can also dig through filings and try to piece things together. We can all do that, but you can't, there is no tangible resource that is searchable for something like the question of what happens when these two stocks have their moment. You know, I think in the event that you don't get an answer for that, I think you see the Tesla style squeeze. And that's also been a topic for a while. People always ask, will it be a massive squeeze and then done, or will it just happen over time? And that's where the cyclicality of my work and others have tried to answer. It's starting to seem like that pressure that should happen all at once is just going to be offloaded into lesser instances over a period of time. But that doesn't mean that that is confirmed. That doesn't mean that that is how it's going to be. The question is, how do you determine that? I don't know. Just things to think about. I think it's been really cathartic to see everybody reground themselves for the past 4 or 5 months in terms of watching this fucking thing go down and down and down and down. A lot of people got shaken out, for sure, mentally or sold or whatever. You do you. But those who are still here and those who have stuck around, this is where the grit is going to really, really, really decorate your fucking armor. Not just in markets, but as a person, as an intellect, as whatever. This is when those who are still around are digging the most and trying to help the most. There's nothing we can do about the fucking chart. Zero. But what you can do is educate yourself and help educate those around you. And that's what this channel and myself have always been about. That is what allows you to move forward and even do better than what you're able to right now. The tunnel visionedness of this entire situation has enlightened tons of people and shaken the cowards out. I've learned more in the past year and a half than I have all my fucking life. And that goes for just about anything, not just money and not just markets. Like, this has been like exponentially enlightening. I'm still optimistic going into the future. The thing that allows me to hold that train of thought is the entire fucking world is just fucked up right now. Not just in markets. When you look at the reflection of the Russia-Ukraine thing, the China thing, there's shit everywhere. When you look at the reflection of that into markets, it kind of gives you a little piece of reassurance. There's nothing that anyone can fucking do right now. The markets are just on a hair trigger for volatility and a potential correction, to put it lightly. That is just how it is, and there's nothing you can do. But the more you educate yourself, the more you can do in the future. Again, I'm still optimistic. It's just a matter of waiting to see what happens in the very near future. So, I'm going to leave it at that. Appreciate all of you.